Seth, and I'm Kaylee.
And we talk about everything under the fucking sun.
Yes.
I stole your line.
It's fine. We share it.
Yeah. So today we wanted to talk about our dreams. Now, I have a lot of crazy, insane, vivid dreams.
I always look forward to the Snapchat in the morning. It's just like, bitch, I had this dream.
Yeah.
And like...
I do. I have crazy dreams.
We both kind of do.
Yeah. Well, my cousin Mackenzie asked me the other day, one of the dreams that I'm going to tell on here. She goes, do you secretly like drop acid when you're going to sleep? And I'm like,
no.
No.
Must be all the caffeine we drink.
I don't know, because I don't really drink that much caffeine.
Oh.
Speak for yourself. Like,
I've done better though. I've been drinking a lot of Diet Pepsi.
Well, I mean, I drink Coke, but I probably drink it only with meals for the most part.
Yeah.
And I don't drink coffee or anything like that. Coffee gives me butterflies. And
gives me the shits. You want to like each tell one first?
Well,
or
I kind of want to go through some common dreams that people have. Like, do you ever have dreams of like walking around naked?
No.
I don't have that one
the
either.
The only one that I feel like I've heard that I feel like I've had is like falling.
Oh yeah, I think everybody does.
Yeah, I think everybody has that. And like it's bad. I hate that's so embarrassing to me, especially if you're around somebody and you're like asleep and you go, huh.
And like, jump away. To me, it always feels like every time I have one of those dreams, it's never like I'm falling out of the sky. It's like I'll be like on like my 2 steps on the front porch and like step off one and like fall, and like it feels like I get like dropped into bed.
And I don't know like if this is necessarily a dream thing, but like we both like men. Mm-hmm. And have you ever like slept with a guy and they just be twitching like hard as hell?
Oh, like not like sex, but like you're sleeping in the bed with them.
Yeah,
I was like,
well, we're talking about dreams. So I
that's
sleeping,
what I was wondering.
Like, like sleeping in a bed or like anywhere with a dude, and they'd be twitching hard.
Well, Bailey, not that this is like a dude that I dated, but he was my friend, and when we were in middle school and he would come over and stay the night, he would like say crazy ass shit in his sleep. And it was really funny.
I think that's creepy when people sleep talk. I find that so scary.
He doesn't really like clearly too. Like he'll be like, "You dirty fucking animal," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, wow." And there was one time that I don't know what happened. We were both asleep. This is probably 6th grade, and he like just randomly tried to take all the blankets, and I was like pissed. So I like yanked as hard as I could and took my side of it back, and he wakes up and he goes, "When you die in a fucking car crash, I'm gonna be happy." Oh, and then he rolls over and I just feel his elbow going into my pillow, and I was like, what the fuck? Like I'm sitting here sleeping and you just want to threaten me.
I also find it really creepy when people sleep with their eyes open.
My dog Willie does that.
It scares me.
Yeah.
I used to have not that I used to have a cousin. That sounded bad.
Oh, shit.
I had a cousin that used to do that. It used to scare the hell out of me.
Because they look dead.
Yeah, I know.
Or there's like people that can fall asleep anywhere. I knew somebody, and I came downstairs.
There's something about my mom. Hi, Mom. As soon as I don't know if it's like being in a car, I don't know if it's relaxing to her, but anytime we ever go on like vacation or anything like that where we have to drive somewhere
to Taco Bell,
like 5 minutes, like not even away from our house for 5 minutes, she's out.
I'm like the total opposite. People are like,
I struggle to sleep in the car.
I can't do it. I can lay there with my eyes closed and daydream, but I don't sleep.
I can sleep in the car.
It's the same on a plane. I can't sleep on a plane.
Yeah, I can, but like, it's like I will if I'm that tired, but it's hard for me to get comfortable.
Yeah.
I hate riding in the car in general, though, like for a long period of time.
Yeah, I do too. Well, there was one day that we were driving, and she sat in the back seat, and she ended up falling asleep. We're sitting at the red light, and out of nowhere, she goes, "No," and wakes up like startled, and we're like, "What?" And she's like, "Kaylee, you're driving," and we were like,
asleep.
And we're like, we're at a red light, like. Speaking of dreams of people nude. I never have dreams that, like, I'm naked in public or anything, but I have dreams that I'll be in school without shoes. And it makes me really uncomfortable. I don't know what that is. I have a vague memory of being in kindergarten. And this kid, like, we were all sitting at Car Rider, and he was like sitting there with no shoes. Like, he had his socks on, but nobody knew. They were like, where are his shoes? And I don't know if it's just that, and for some reason that made me uncomfortable. And so it's something.
But that's about that.
Yeah, it's really weird. Or like, I'll have dreams like I'll be in school. These are usually in school. Like, if I have to pee in my sleep, thank God I don't pee in the bed. But I'll like go to the bathroom in school and like pee, and I'm like, okay, and I'm starting to walk back to class. I'm like, I still have to pee, and I'll go pee like 10 times in the dream, and it just keeps happening. I don't know, like, I've never had a UTI up to this point in my life, so I'm imagining it's something like that but more painful, and that sounds horrible.
I've never had one either, so I didn't even know. I wasn't even aware that guys could get UTI.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe it's just more common in women, so I just thought that.
So I'll talk about one of the earliest dreams I can remember. It was a nightmare. Because I was 4 years old, and I watched Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And it was the first horror movie I ever watched, and I remember going to sleep, and I had a dream about Freddy. There's a scene in Wes Craven's New Nightmare where he, like, comes in the clouds and, like, uses his claw to, like, pick this kid up and dangle him over traffic.
Oh, God.
And I had a dream that he, like, did that to my roof of my house and just, like, opened it up, so I was just exposed. Like, he was just in the sky. And then I remember being in a library with my dad, and do you remember those clear backpacks, the Crayola brand ones? We were in this library, and he, like, stuffed me in that, like my dad did, to, like, hide me from Freddy, and Freddy was, like, peeking out from one of the shelves, like, talking to him. And it was scary. The last part of it, I remember being in my bedroom, and it was dark, and I remember Freddy was, like, sitting against my door, like, almost like guarding it, and he was like asleep, which is, I don't think people in dreams sleep, but he like had his head down and he was like sleeping, and I was like creeping out of bed to try to like escape, and he like woke up and he like stood up and came up to me, and I remember cowering and like putting my hands over my head and like getting on my knees, like ducked down, and I remember him like slashing at me, and I woke up screaming.
Oh, God.
It was terrifying. That was like, I think that's the earliest nightmare I can remember. And my mother she remembers that because I woke up screaming, and she said that my dad like jumped out of bed to come into my bedroom, and she said she was wrapped up in the blanket like a burrito and she like couldn't move.
Oh my goodness.
That was the scariest dream that I had as a child. I've had a lot more scary ones as adults, which I really love nightmares. I know it's kind of weird, but like I will think about them for days and weeks.
I have a hard time remembering my dreams. And, like, because I know I've had some scary dreams, too, but I feel like they're more, like, real scary, like, stuff that could actually happen. And I want to ask you this. Have you ever, like, had to, like, set your alarm for something, and you wake up, but then you're like, oh, 5 more minutes, and you're kind of, like, you're, like, back to sleep, but you're not fully. It's, like, you're still kind of aware, and you're, like, conscious, and you remember.
You're still kind of dreaming.
And you remember your dream, and you're like, oh, like, I don't need to forget this when I wake up. And then you wake up and you forget it.
So that's why I'll send whoever a voice recording or something on Snapchat or write it in my notes. I've got a lot of these dreams that I've written down in my notes, so they're kind of hazy because I'm so tired. I do this thing when I first wake up and I'm really tired, like if I look at my phone, I only keep one eye open, so I'm just looking at my phone for those of you watching just like this. And so like a lot of them, like I was reading through them preparing for this, and I was like, what does this mean? That's why usually I like to send them in a voice recording, because I can go back and listen and I can talk in more detail.
Yeah, but I have a hard time remembering my dreams. But I've had a few that I've told Seth that it's just the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, I have a lot more than you.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've told you a lot more, but I can't remember it now. But, actually, I just thought about one. But do you want me to talk about the Bailey one? I thought that was one of the first dreams that I ever told you that we were, like, dying laughing
weird.
at.
Yeah, tell it.
Okay. I've only ever hung out with Bailey, like, a few times.
Like
I mean, we know of each other. Like, it's fine. Like, whatever. But this is so funny. I don't even know if I ever had actually met Bailey, did I?
Yeah.
Maybe I did. Maybe that was like when he told me something about when he made that joke about the hamburgers.
That's weird.
Yeah. But anyways, so I had this dream that we were hanging out in Seth's room, and I guess me and Bailey were dating, and like, which is weird because like I had barely even knew him.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I've had dreams like that before where I'm dating somebody that like I don't even know.
Yeah.
And but I knew Seth.
Wow.
I knew Bailey, but yeah, we were dating, and I guess it upset Alex that we were dating, and oh god. So try not to laugh. Seth's bed in this dream was like up against the back wall. Me, Bailey, and Alex were like in the bed, and like this is not like sexual in any way. I mean, kind of, but like not like what y'all.
It wasn't like
thinking.
A threesome.
No, nothing like that. But basically, I guess I felt bad that Alex was upset. So like, it was as if it was like a three person like spooning session. So it's like Bailey was the big spoon, I was the big spoon, and then Alex was the little spoon. And Alex was crying because I guess he was sad that me and Bailey were dating. And all of a sudden Seth walks in, and do you want to say what you announced?
Allegedly, I walked in and I said, "Look at that bulge," and then she like woke up. But like, I don't imagine it was like you, Bailey, or Alex had a bulge that was just there. I imagine like this like floating square of like a crotch, like, and I'm like, look at that bulge.
Oh god, I'm wheezing.
But I don't think that's
accurate. Like, I don't remember ever seeing any type of bulge going on. So.
Can someone take the tea off the pot?
It's got to be one of my funniest dreams, and I've had a lot of funny ones, but that was like one of the first ones I ever told Seth. And we were dying laughing because he was like, "Look at that bulge!"
Like, what?
Oh god, I'm crying.
This is a funny dream I had just within the last couple weeks. And like, I woke up, like, even in the dream, I was dying laughing. So I had a dream that I was at school. I don't know that I told you this dream. I was with and so like, I got put in a psych ward that was a part of the school, a psych ward, quote unquote. Whoa. But it looked like an interrogation room, and I was in there and I couldn't leave, but my mouth could.
What?
So my mouth like floated off my face, I guess, and it like went to find. And so she was in the library, and there was like a rug. You know, like when you go to a subway station, they had those little like things that spin around when you walk through them. So there was one of those, and she like tripped over the rug and like fell through that and just ate shit. Oh, and my mouth came up to her, and we were just dying laughing. And this girl that we knew in school, she was standing there. It was weird that she popped up in this dream because I haven't thought about her in a long time. And I are just rolling. Like, my mouth is just laughing up a storm. And she goes, "Why is Seth's mouth here, but his body isn't?" And her and these other girls start like running around and screaming because there's just a fucking floating mouth. Laughing.
Oh no, I'm falling.
There was a girl that we went to school with, and in personal finance, she was like sitting at her desk, and her whole desk was like about to tip over. Oh, and she goes, "Oh no, I am falling." Like this monotone. Then there was another part of that dream where we had just binge watched all the Saw movies. So I guess these are fresh in my mind. So I had a dream that I was in Saw 2, and the house the characters were in was my house. It was like boarded up and everything. And everybody was there. Our favorite character in movie history, Addison from Saw 2, was there. The muscle guy, Shawnee Smith, like everybody was there. And so like we were all going through the house trying to find the antidote. And so there was a safe, and so I took like a wrench or something, and I was like trying to break open the safe, and I got it open. So it was a small safe too, like it was like tiny, and I like
compared to the one in the movie, the one in the movie is huge.
Yeah, it was like tiny. It was like the size of like a big purse. And so I broke it open and I looked and there was like tinfoil. And so I unwrapped the tinfoil and there was this like stick and it was wrapped in tinfoil. And I unfolded it and it was a needle. And so I went up to Shawnee Smith and I was like, hey, inject me with this because I don't know what to do. And she was like, okay. She got me way over here, for those of you watching, if you can see, like way over almost to my elbow. And she injected me with it. So I guess I was good. And then we realized, wait, there was only one in the safe. So only one of us was ever going to survive. And so they were like, well, I guess we're going to die now. I don't think that's how they'd react in the movie. And then we ended up getting out of the house and they got in this Jeep. And they were backing out the driveway, and we were all like, yeah, you know, this has happened before. Next time, at least we know what to do now. It was weird. It was the same night as the mouth dream.
I do have, like, multiple dreams, like, in one night. But yeah. I feel like that, especially is when I can't remember all of them. I get confused. And
yeah.
I don't remember all the details about this dream because it's been a while.
I probably remember more about it than you do.
Probably.
I found a picture of when you wrote it. If I can find it, I'll insert it in this video.
Yeah.
But I can remember certain details about it.
So I had a dream that I don't know exactly what. We were at some sort of school, like, and I don't know.
I think that was after the Tinkerbell part. I think the Tinkerbell thing happened, and then we went to the school to hide out.
That's right.
Because I remember
we were babysitting my little cousin. I'm not gonna name
you said
her,
that we were trying to teach her to brush her teeth or something.
Yeah. So I basically had to babysit my little cousin, and
in the dream.
Yeah, in the dream. And Seth, I guess, was just gonna come along with me, and we were trying to teach her how to brush her teeth, which she's
old enough
to know, which was weird. But basically, somehow we walked outside of this house, and keep in mind, we live in like southeast Tennessee, and there is no ocean anywhere near us. We have lakes, but that's about it. And this house was not near a lake, so it was like we walked out and there was just like an image of a lake. And there was like a sunset and clouds. And we're standing out there like, what the heck? And all of a sudden, this entity just starts floating down from the sky. And it's Tinkerbell, but she's like buff. Like, she's like got the body of like a bodybuilder, a male bodybuilder too.
Wasn't she like she was like,
I don't remember.
I thought you said I thought she like came up and was like no, she was like grunting.
She was like coming down. And
wait, do it what she was doing?
She was like this. And it was weird because I couldn't really see like the details of Tinkerbell. Like, if you look up, yeah, it was like a silhouette. And it was crazy. And so me and Seth were like, we gotta get out of here. Like, what? Tinkerbell's falling from the sky. Like, what is going on? So we go to a school that's like in session. Like, we go walk into this auditorium, and we find out that it's some kind of like brainwashing situation happening, and like they're trying to get it. I don't even know like what exactly they were brainwashing us with. And so we're sitting in this auditorium and they're talking, and I was like, Seth, like, I don't think, like, something doesn't feel right. Like, we got to get out of here. And so we start like walking out of the auditorium, and obviously they didn't want us to leave, so they were trying to like catch us.
It's scary.
And then finally we get to like a certain point. I don't even know where my cousin went. She was just like gone, and we left her.
Tinkerbell and she's
like, we left her, I guess. I don't know. So then me and Seth are trying to get out of the school, and all of a sudden he starts talking crazy. Starts talking like, I don't even know. Basically, he was brainwashed.
You told me, I was like, it's pointless.
Yeah.
They're just gonna get us anyway.
Yeah, like.
And you said you were like crying.
Yeah. I was like, we gotta get out. And he's like, no, like, it's fine. He's like, we could just stay here. And I was like, are you like on crack? Like, what's happening? And I don't even remember what happened after that, but it was a crazy dream. That was one of those I woke up and I was like,
what the hell?
And I've had many of those, but that one was funny. And I wish I would have like drawn what I saw.
Well, if you Google buff Tinkerbell, it pulls up weird things.
Yeah.
So this is a dream that I would like to talk about. I had this pretty recently in the last couple months. This one was pretty scary, where my friend Sheena, who is older than me, and then she has a daughter that's also older than me, and they were here. I think a couple other people were here. I don't know what we were doing. I know we were like making food. I feel like it was something about potato salad. And I walked out into the backyard, and it was like evening, so it was like that really pretty. It was like golden hour. And I walked outside, and there were like these rednecks outside in their trucks, like on my fence, which I don't have. It was like a
I'm imagining fence. Like wrong turn type of people, not like mutated,
kind of, yeah,
but like
that's a good example.
Like...
Yeah, that's the perfect example of what I'm talking about. Like, there's just something not right with them.
Yeah,
not the ones that we see when we go to Sonic, but
yeah.
So they were like all on my fence, like doing crazy ass shit in their trucks or whatever. And so we all grabbed like these firecrackers and we threw them out. It was almost, they acted like those snapdragons. So like when you throw them down, they pop, but it was firecrackers. So they were like intense. And we threw them at these people, and they like left. And then we're like outside, and we're like playing with them and throwing them around and having fun. And Sheena threw one at me. And we were at the end of my driveway near my mailbox, and she threw one at me, and it landed right here on the side of my neck, and it just like stuck, and it was like lit, and it was going, and it was gonna explode on me, and I was like flailing to like get it off of me, and I got it off, and it exploded, and I was so scared in the dream, like I was so panicked, and then it was one of those big ones. It wasn't a little one; it was one of those big fat ones. I can't think of what they're called. I'll find it later. But yeah, it exploded after I got it off me, thank God. And then Shayna had another one, and it exploded in her hands. And she was like, "Oh, it almost got me." And I was like, "How are your fingers not blown off?" So I don't remember anything else about that dream. But
that's crazy, though.
Yeah, it was crazy. I think Lexi was here, too.
Interesting.
It was scary. She tried to kill me. She's going to break open my jugular with an explosive. Like,
oh, my gosh. I want to, actually, I might save that one because I know you're going to know what I'm talking about, but, I guess we can, okay. So, this dream, and I think, honestly, when I told Seth this, I didn't really think it was that funny until he thought it was that funny, but I used to talk to this guy, what should we name him?
Kevin,
okay. Kevin. Basically, when I left for college, I met this dude, Kevin, and basically, long story short, he screwed me over, and
he's an asshole.
Screw Kevin. But I was really naive and young, and I was like, oh my God, I like him so much, and da, da, da. Basically, I did more for that dude than I should have.
Yeah.
So anyways, he went to a different school than I did. And it was like 35, 40 minutes away from the school that I was at. And so I had been over there a few times. So like I knew, God, I hope my dad doesn't watch this. But I knew like what his like dorm looked like and everything. And like I always took my friend with me. So it wasn't like anything crazy was happening. And she made sure I didn't like die or anything. So like I'm familiar with what this campus looked like. And so my dream was at this campus, and I was going to visit him because I guess, I don't know if we were dating or we were gonna date or like somewhere.
In the dream.
Yeah, in the dream, not in real life. I mean, I don't even want to get into that. But I go, and I don't remember exactly everything that happened, but I know that he played sports, like he played baseball and golf and like all this stuff. And so I go to like see him, and basically I'm not even sure that I even interacted with him at all in the dream. I know he was there, but basically I drive up and get out of my car, and all these people are just like outside, all these like college students and like the cheerleading team, and like, and they're cheering. Look, Seth is laughing because he knows how this ends. He like,
oh shit, sorry.
These cheerleaders are saying this cheer, basically harassing me because they're saying that like, oh,
he doesn't love you.
Yeah, basically like, you're ugly and he doesn't like you and you're so stupid.
Get
and
out,
like,
get out.
Get out, get out. Nobody likes you. Like,
it was so and I couldn't help it when she was telling me this. I just cracked up
because it was traumatizing for me. I woke up and I was like, oh my God.
You said you were like crying in the dream.
Yeah, I was like crying and Kevin is just standing there like not even saying.
I don't blame you.
It was
I
like
would
he
cry
set
too.
his ass. It's like he set it up.
Yeah.
And I was literally like, what the hell? And everyone, it's like yelling, saying that I was ugly and fat and like.
Damn. That's a lot of work for hate.
I know. And these cheerleaders was like, nobody likes you. He thinks you're ugly and fat. Like, it was like one of the worst dreams I've ever had.
It's worse than any nightmare.
And keep in mind, I'm not trying to hate or be negative, but like their cheerleading team sucked. that cheerleading team at that school.
Well, yeah, any
sucked.
cheer team that comes out just to cheer how much like they hate you is not a good cheer team.
That's true.
Now imagine there's like
funny,
confetti and shit.
Like a party, like it's like a pep rally to all hate on me.
Oh my God,
and
the
tell
pep
me
rally
that
hate.
Kevin was using me.
I'm reading this dream from my notes. It's fucking crazy. So, Coraline Jones lookalike was riding to school with a friend, but the friend was a rude bitch. So she got home and her mom had not left a note, telling her where she was at or anything. So fake Coraline is chilling, and some weird ghostly thing happens. I can't remember what. Then she's out in this weird alley thing at night, and she bumps into some old ladies walking home. And it was nighttime, so we follow them. Oh, I wrote that twice. It was nighttime, so we follow them, and one of the old ladies goes home, and we see the other one go to her apartment. And it was weird because she had to like sign into her place. Like it was almost like if you go up to the bank and you have to go to,
Mm-hmm.
and like sign in. Also, while this is happening, it's as if I'm writing a script telling what's happening. So the old lady turns in the doorway and we go back to fake Coraline in her house. And I'm trying to figure out how to end this film. So Lexi, who was suddenly there, pops up and we decide that a water tornado should come out of the dishwasher and get her and drown her.
Oh God.
But then we get cold feet because that's fucking stupid. Also, I had a dream that Melissa Gorga died and I was at her funeral and I was like crying. And Melissa Gorga is a real housewife in New Jersey. It's really random. Like why her?
Yeah.
And then something about calling into a radio show, and I remember seeing this host and she was like really thin, like unhealthy, like not taking care of herself kind of thing. And then I realized she had covered herself in black makeup and painted on a skeleton. So I guess it was like she was naked and like painted a skeleton on.
First of all, like yours, I don't know if it's because like you're like reading it off your phone or if it's just because, I don't know, maybe to explain it is one thing, but just read it like that. Like it sounds like I'm in like a fever dream.
Yeah, that's how all my dreams are. Like they're crazy. Like, my dreams are insane. Like, that laughing mouth one. That is the craziest.
So another one that I was going to talk about was, I don't remember exactly everything that happened in this dream, but there's just one part that just continues to come back to me is basically I was somewhere and I met Leonardo DiCaprio. And I went home with him, like, went back to his hotel room, and he was like, oh, like, I need to show you something. Like, I'm so excited to show you this. And he leads me into his hotel bathroom. It was a really fancy, like hotel, like, suite type hotel. And, like, hotel room, I guess, is what I was trying to say. Anyways. And he opens the bathroom door, and he's got sea creatures in his bathtub. And, like, I don't mean, like, they're, like, miniature size sea creatures.
So it's like an octopus that's, like, this big.
Yeah, and they're real. They're, like, moving around, and it wasn't, like...
I've had dreams... I vaguely remember having a dream going into a pet store and seeing, like, an octopus that was, like, this big, and, like, jellyfish that were really tiny.
Yeah, and they were, like... I mean, there was, like, everything. And, like, I just don't even remember what I said. I was like... What?
What do you say to that? That's a weird
Yeah,
thing.
like, why do you have sea creatures in your bathtub? And what was so funny about it was I didn't send Seth, like, a voice thing. Like, I just typed it out. And it was still the morning, I think.
It was a Snapchat, and it was, like, a picture of her, like asleep.
Yeah, and I felt like I needed to say it before I forgot it. And so I typed, instead of Leonardo DiCaprio, Leonardo DiCaprio. And so Seth just sends it back. And I was like, I didn't even realize that I said that. And like, I love Leonardo DiCaprio, so I would never call him that intentionally. But like, it was super weird. DiCaprio. I was like, Leonardo DiCaprio showed me his sea creatures or something like that. Like,
I don't even know that you specified it was a dream. I think you literally just said that, and I was like, what?
Probably. I was out of it.
So, this was a zombie apocalypse dream. And I remember it so vividly. It was crazy. So, in this dream, I was in like a Starbucks in Las Vegas. It was like a high-end Starbucks. It looked like a ballroom. It was like beautiful. And I was there with some friends. I don't know who they were, but I went up, like, I saw somebody like had like some like wine and cheese and bread and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I want that. And so I went up to the counter. I was like, I don't know what to get. Surprise me. And so he gives me like this wine and bread, and I go up to pay for it. Like, I go to swipe my card, it looked weird. It was like specifically for Vegas. Like, I guess if you're going to Vegas, here's however much money. It was like, I think it was like, yeah, it was like, I think $1,000 on it. And so I swiped it, and I noticed it said it was $555. I was like, what the hell? I was like, well, I got $1,000. I'll swipe it, I guess. And so I paid for it, and I go up to my friends, and I'm like, hey, I just spent like $500 on this fucking wine and bread. And they're like, what? Like, you should not pay that. Like, you need to fix that. So I go up to this lady, and she's like, oh, yeah, I guess he knew you weren't from around here, so he was like scamming you. If you go upstairs into this room, you know, you'll meet with somebody, and you'll be able to get it fixed. So I go upstairs into this room, and it was pretty empty. It was like a very modern, like, penthouse kind of thing, and the entire wall was a glass window, and it looked out into the city. And so I'm talking to this guy, and we just hear all this like commotion. Like, we look outside, and there's like people running, and there's like people being like slammed on the ground and like killed. So I meet up with my friend group. Turns out it's a zombie apocalypse. And so, like, I remember people, like, my friends had gotten bit, and so they weren't turning right away. And so they were like protecting me. And somebody, like, over like an intercom of the city was like, hey, if you have a human in your group, you better make sure to protect them. And so we came across these zombies that like could talk. It was real weird. And they were going to let us by, but we had to jump in this pit. And I remember being so scared in this dream. The pit was like 2 stories. And I was so scared because we were going to have to jump in this pit. And I remember turning to my friends and being like, hey, which is better to break, my ass or my legs? Like, is that not scary? And I remember my friend like went to take the jump, and he went to land on his ass, but he landed on his, he like smashed his ankle. And I remember seeing blood. Yeah. I remember, if you've ever seen Final Destination 5, a guy falls off a bridge, and it's just like this very high view, and you just see blood go where he hits the ground.
Oh gosh.
And it was like that. And then Anne Hathaway showed up, and I woke up. It was so scary.
We love Anne Hathaway. She just walks in.
I don't even know what she was doing. I just remember she just like showed up, and then I woke up. It was crazy. That was a really crazy dream. And I guess I never got my money back.
Yeah, I don't know. Going off of your zombie dream,
I don't know what this one is, but you vaguely told me about it, but I had one that sounds similar.
Yeah, so I had a zombie dream as well. This one was funny, but this one wasn't as serious. I mean, it felt serious at certain points, but like to listen to it
is goofy.
And basically, so I guess in this dream, the zombie apocalypse had already been going on for a while. And so my house, we were all at my house. It was like me, my family, Seth, this girl Katie, and I mean, I guess we can say her name because we don't really talk to her very much, or I don't even know her.
We're not saying her last name. I think it's fine. We're not specifying anything about her.
No. So this girl Katie, and then this dude that I also used to have a thing with, and
let's call him Chestplate.
Chestplate.
Yeah.
It was called Chickpea.
Yeah, let's call him Chickpea.
Okay, so it was, my family, Seth, this girl Katie, me, and this dude that I used to have a pretty long fling with, and I'm gonna call him Chickpea. So Chickpea. Basically, it was the middle of the night, and to kind of set this scene, I guess, like the setting. So I have like, my house is not big by any means, but it's like wooden, and like in the dark it looks scary. And my like the back side of my house, like we have street lights, so it's like lit back there, and I have this huge space where we used to have a pool. And so we were out there for some reason. Me and Seth and this Katie girl had to go outside.
Who Kaylee doesn't even know her.
Yeah, I don't even know her, so I don't even know why she was in this dream, but it was really weird. And we were supposed to go outside to do something. Like, my mom was like, you forgot to do this or something. So we went outside, and there was this car that was like sitting out there. And I guess we were trying to like, I can't even remember like what we were planning to do. But Katie bumps into this car, and it starts going off. Like, the siren starts going off. And for some reason, we had like electricity and everything during a zombie apocalypse. And we had like these fancy doors on my house that, like, I guess kept the zombies out if they were to ever come. And so my mom was awake, or she woke up when she heard this car alarm go off. So I guess she was like, y'all screwed up and you're done for now. So she locked us out of the house. And so we're freaking out because the zombies are coming. We have nowhere to go. And something significant about Chickpea was that he was pregnant. And the image in my head, like in my dream, was that he was heavily pregnant. So like bump and everything. And he was wearing a wife beater. And he was like laying, because I guess he couldn't do anything for himself. So like all he would do was lay there and like whine, pretty much. And so we're outside like freaking out because my mom has locked us out. And I don't know if I ever told you this part, but like how my back door used to be before we got the one that has like a code on it. You used to slide. So that was a glass door, so you could see through it. And like we were just like, my mom was just standing there watching as she like locked the door, and we're out there like freaking out, crying. And I was like, how am I gonna take care of Chickpea? He's pregnant, and like how am I supposed to take care of him if I die? And then I don't remember what happened, because like I just woke up, I guess. So I don't think I even saw a zombie in that dream, but I knew it was a zombie apocalypse.
This is a dream I wanted to tell. I didn't write it down, but it's really funny. I had a dream about the Babadook one night. And if you've ever seen the Babadook, there's a mother and son in that movie, and he's pretty young, I think like 6 and under maybe. And so he was like telling his mom, he's like, Mom, like I'm anxious, like I'm having an anxiety attack. And she goes, oh, here. She goes, I got this pill. And she gives it to him. She goes, whenever I take it, it makes me feel like French fries. My brain in the dream was like, oh, that makes sense, because French fries just lay there. I guess it just like makes you so relaxed that you just kind of lay around.
Like a French fry?
I don't know why you wouldn't say like a dead fish or something. Take this, it makes me feel like French fries. I remember telling one of my friends about that, like this a couple years ago, and she messages me and she goes, that dream, the French fries thing, she goes, I'm in public and I almost made an ass out of myself laughing.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this one because it involves Chickpea. I don't know how to like describe this because it's kind of crazy, but like, have you ever, as if y'all can respond to me, wow. If you're ever like introducing someone and you say, this is so-and-so, she's, I don't know, artistic, or she's like, if you say like where they're from maybe, or she's like
she's British,
she's Vietnamese, she's this or that. It was he introduced me to his sister, and so these like other people that I didn't really know. He goes, this is Kaylee, she's Thousand Islandish. And even in my dream I was like, what? And I go, you mean like the dressing? He goes, yeah. I don't like Thousand Island dressing. And like,
I'd be happy to be in business Thousand Island dish. I love Thousand Island.
And like, I remember like specifically there being like a projection like screen and Jeopardy was on there. Like, so I guess we were all playing Jeopardy or something. And he was like, "This is Kaylee. She's Thousand Island-ish." Like, just said it as confident as ever. And in my dream, I was like, "What?" Like, I was like, the dressing? Yeah. Like, what?
I have two more that I want to share. So one of them involves you. It was really funny. So we were like in this apartment building or something, and we went to like either the basement or the attic. I'm not sure where. So it was like all these storage units that were like fenced in, and we were playing you know this one.
Yeah.
And we were playing hide and seek, and I remember hiding behind one of these, and I just hear like the sound of like a camera go
like
off.
an iPhone camera.
Yeah, so I hear, and I like look, and I look back, and Kaylee's standing on the other side of this thing, like I can see her through the fencing kind of thing, like just like with her phone in front of her face, and then we just died laughing. It felt pretty real, like it felt like, yeah. I guess you were like looking for me, and you like just saw me, and you were just like,
that's definitely I thought something that would actually happen.
Yeah.
Though. I'd like caught you. I mean, I can say the rest of mine. I mean, yeah. I have a few. They're not really long though, because I don't remember everything about my dreams like Seth does. But I do want to say this one because I know I told you about it, but I don't know if you remember it. So just to give a little backstory, when I was in elementary school, we used to have this thing called field day, and it was basically like you had all these little games like all outside and everything.
It was the worst.
Yeah, it was.
They would do it on like the hottest day of the year.
And so we had that, and your parents could like be a part of it. So like my mom used to always do that. Side note, this is really funny. You don't have to keep this in there if you don't want to. But the last time she did that, this kid that I was friends with hit a wiffle ball off a tee and hit my mom in the head with it.
Did she cry?
No, but like it's just so funny to me to think about my mom getting hit in the head with a wiffle ball.
Well, they're like little pieces of lead that can't even be a pound.
Yeah. Like if you hit them hard enough, though, they hurt. But anyways, so in this specific field day, my dad was a part of it. And I can't remember if my dad ever actually was in a field day with me. He could have been. I don't really know. But so basically it was like, but this one is like, it was like parent-kid like challenges. It was like each kid and their parent was like a challenge against a different kid and their parent, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it was like that.
I'm going to order more Taco Bell. Do you want anything?
Sure. And Miranda Cosgrove was there. And in this dream, like we were grown too. Like, and I don't mean grown like, I mean Miranda Cosgrove during iCarly grown. Like teenagers. So, yeah. And we were in elementary school for some reason. And so basically it was like somebody told my dad like, hey, Miranda Cosgrove's parents couldn't be here. Like, do you mind kind of like taking her too? And my dad was like, yeah, that's totally fine or whatever. So then my dad left me and like basically like stayed with her and hung out with her for the rest of field day and then took her with him, like left me at school and took Miranda Cosgrove with him home. And I guess she was gonna be his daughter now. And like,
you've never told me this dream.
It hurt me. Like I know it's so goofy, but like I woke up and I was hurt. Like, and I mean, I've always told you that like, I don't know, me and my dad just have this relationship where like I just have like the utmost respect for my dad, and like I guess I'm like daddy's little girl, so like it hurt me that he chose Miranda Cosgrove over me, and I told my mom that, and she thought it was so funny. I don't know if I ever told my dad that though. It's funny. I know the Buff Tinkerbell one is great and the cheerleader one's great, but this is probably my favorite dream that I've ever had. It's so funny. I mean, I've laughed about it a lot and like I've made like references back to it. But basically, I had a dream that we were in my room and I had 2 closets in my room.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about this. Oh my god. I just remembered it.
Yeah. So I have 2 closets in my room. One of them has a crawl space in it. Like it's just got random junk in it, but it's screwed shut. Like you can't get into it without a screwdriver. And I mean like one of those like electric screwdrivers.
A power drill.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god. Blonde moment.
Like you see a vacuum. It's an electric sweeper.
Oh god, I would say some shit like that too. But anyway, so you have to use a power drill to get that thing open. I mean, I'm sure you could probably use a regular screwdriver too, but anyways. But yeah, it's screwed shut, so you can't really get into it. And I don't ever get into it anyways because we have critters in our crawl spaces. So anyways, so we're
you're afraid
sitting,
they'll come out and critter tickle you.
And like I have critter tickles. I've completely forgot about that. Oh my gosh. What even got us on that?
Because we were in fucking at home and that lady was like working on the pillow. She was like putting them up and she goes, I'm so afraid critters are going to pop out of these and tickle me. You know, critter tickling. And we were like, what? That was the weirdest encounter I think I've ever had in public.
See, that's like another one of our inside joke things.
Weird.
When he said that, I was like, it like dawned on me. I was like, I have not thought about that in years.
That's still my Tinder bio. It just says critter tickling. And now that I think about it, they probably think of it like, oh. But I imagine like skunks run out and they're like,
ew. But anyways, so I just had a dream that me and Seth were in my room just chilling, you know, talking, whatever, and we kept hearing noises come from that second closet. And that second closet, it's kind of like a junk closet, pretty much. I mean, it used to be my grandma's closet, but now there's just random stuff in it. And we just kept hearing noises in it, and I was like, what the heck is that? So I went to go check it out, and I opened the door, and if you've ever seen The Ring, Samara, the bitch that fucking crawls out the well, yeah, she was in there, and she was like trying to describe this, like if you open up the door, it was like she was up against the wall that the door was on, like this, trying to not be seen.
Oh shit. That's so scary. Like she's like
yeah. So she's like this, and I look, I'm like and then I literally like grabbed her by her wet nasty hair and beat her ass. Like I drug her out of that closet. I was shocked at first too, but it was like a mad shock. I was like how dare you be in my closet? And I was just like, whoop shit. Like I beat her ass. I'm not a violent person. I've never been in a fight, but I kicked her. I felt like what's her name? Brenda in Scary Movie 3 when she's like, Cindy, the TV's leaking. There we go again. Seth just stood there too.
Like I was just like,
you were just like like you were just like shocked.
I would be if I saw you open a door and go and then you reach in and pull out a whole girl. I would be so freaked out. Like that would be like top 5 most shocked I've ever been. Oh,
and Dad was like beating her, and you're just like.
I had a dream one time that we went to Chick-fil-A and we were in there and they got our chicken sandwiches wrong. And so we started
So you beat their ass?
So we started fighting. I wasn't in a fight, but I was like, I knew I was going to end up in one. And I remember walking past you, like the guy is like punching this like worker and you have this girl by the hair. It's probably Samara. And you like swung like into her nose, like you like.
That's literally what I imagined like this dream to be like. Like I literally.
Yeah, it was just chaos. I don't remember anything else, but I remember like we were kind of laughing during it. Like,
oh god.
Like we were like, oh yeah, let's beat these bitches' ass. Come on, got her. Like, it wasn't like anything like crazy.
Yeah, and like
no, yeah, it was. We beat everybody's ass at Chick-fil-A because they got our sandwiches wrong. That was crazy. What am I saying?
Like Samara, like her hair's long too, and I drug her out. It was literally like almost like, you know, like you do a lasso. I like was like whoosh, and like she was out, and I was like, I was beating her up, and like I don't know why. Like I guess I was offended she was in my closet. Like, what are you doing in there?
In reality, we would scream.
Oh yeah, I would lose it if there was a girl in my closet.
Oh my God. If I saw you open a door, I imagine I'm like seeing you from behind, and I hear you go, and first of all, I would think mouse, and then you go, and then I just see Samara come in and go, and you just like beating her ass. Like I would be so shocked.
Watch your toes. Not. Oh God. His cat came back. Toby. Oh my gosh. It's just funny because I'm so not that type of person, like, to just threaten and, like, beat people's asses, but I was pissed that she was in my closet.
Unless people stare, then we want to fight.
Yeah.
I think that's going to conclude Dreamcast. I've got a lot more dreams that I can tell. And
I'm sure we'll be having more dreams, so this could be, like, a series.
Yeah, so maybe we'll... If anybody wants to, you know, maybe we'll do another one.
Y'all could just be like, y'all are annoying. And like, why are you... These dreams are so crazy. Like, y'all need help. I feel like that could be it, too.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to get like a therapist in the comments being like, I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
So...
Just, if you ever see Samara in your closet, just beat that bitch up.
So... You can follow me at Seth.Heist2 on Instagram and The Closet Podcast. The.Closet Podcast on Instagram. Feel free to send us an email or leave us a comment. You can email us at theclosetpodcast1@gmail.com.
Yeah, and you can also find me on Instagram at k.shellbuns. Send me a DM or something. I mean, sure.
Thirsty bitch.
Not like that.
This has been The Closet Podcast. I'm Seth.
And I'm Kaylee.
And we talk about everything under the fucking sun.
Bye. Beat that bitch up. Samara.